Today we're going to build our first mobile app game. This is a variation on the traditional Whack-A-Mole fairground game. I'm going to start up my web browser, log into App Inventor. Remember that App Inventor will always load up the previous project you were working on. So let's go to My Projects, create a new project, and we're going to call this one MoleMasher. So looking at my screen design, the first thing I want to do is give the screen a title. We're now going to work with some graphics. So we're going to drag a canvas onto the mobile app screen. This is going to represent a field that the mole lives in. So let's set it to green. Fill the parent so it's the full width of the mobile screen. And set the height to, I'm going to use 300, but you choose something that works best for your phone. I'm also going to rename it just as Canvas. I'm now going to drag an image sprite onto the canvas. Now this is a graphic that we can work with on a canvas, and you can see in the components window how image sprite is related to the canvas. I'm going to name this image sprite mole. We're going to set its picture to the small mole image, and we'll leave everything else as it is. Below the canvas, I'm going to have a start button and a text label to display the score. So to get things side by side, remember, we need a horizontal arrangement component, and then I'll drag in the button and I'll drag in the label. I'm just going to rename the horizontal arrangement, and the button is going to be a start button, so button start, and the label is going to be for a score, so label score. And this way, when I go to edit the code, I can see at a glance what's a button, what's a label, and all the labels would be grouped together, all the buttons would be grouped together, because in the blocks editor they're listed in alphabetical order. Now setting the properties for each of these, first of all the button, I'm going to make the font bold so it stands out, 18 point, and the text is going to be start. Everything else I'll leave at the standard settings. Moving on to the label, I'll make that bold. I'll make it 18 point to match the button. Set the text to score, and I'm going to set it to red so it stands out. The next component we're going to look at is a clock. Now we're going to drag this onto our mobile app screen, but because it's not a visible component, because you can't see it, it's listed below here. The purpose of the clock is to use as a timer. Now in computing, a timer is a component which we can use to create an event every so often. In this case, the timer will fire every 1000 milliseconds, every second, and we can change this. And in this case, we're going to use it to move the mole. So I'm going to call this clock mole timer. And this is the basis of our game. Finally, when we hit the mole with our finger, we want to play a sound. So it's going to media, drag over a sound component, and let's call this sound mole hit. And the sound source is going to be squeak. Finally, I think my screen would look better with a black background. Now you create this interface, rerun the video if you need to, pausing when necessary. Once you've done that, load up the next video and learn how to create the code which is going to make our game work.